As they settled into his office, Sebastian opened up a large folder filled with notes, documents, and planning outlines, all dedicated to the Climate Quest fundraiser. The folder alone was impressive, brimming with his dedication to the event, and Sicil leaned in, ready to absorb the details. Climate Quest is more than just a fundraising event, he began, his tone serious yet passionate. It's about creating awareness and mobilizing people to take real action against environmental damage. Both of our mothers have been involved in these initiatives since before we were even born. My mum has been focused on reforestation efforts and sustainable farming, while your mum has worked tirelessly to protect marine ecosystems and tackle the waste crisis. He flipped through some old photos of their mothers at various environmental events, smiling as he did. This year, the goal is to raise enough funds to support 2 new programs, a nationwide reforestation project and a youth outreach campaign aimed at educating future generations about climate preservation. And more than that, he paused, looking at Sicil. We're hoping this event will inspire the community to become more involved, to make conscious decisions in their daily lives. It's about changing minds, and in turn, changing the future. Sicil's admiration for him grew as she listened, hearing the depth of his commitment, not only to the project, but also to a legacy shared between their families. It's incredible, Seb. Our mothers have done so much, and I had no idea how deeply involved they were in these causes. I can see why you're so committed to Climate Quest. He nodded. They've put years into these causes, even behind the scenes. This fundraiser isn't just to help fund their initiatives. It's a way to bring these issues into the spotlight. We're aiming to gather local businesses, community leaders, schools, everyone really, to create a wave of awareness. Sicil scribbled down notes, her mind whirling with ideas and newfound inspiration. And the funds raised, will they directly fuel these projects? Absolutely. Every penny will go to accelerating these initiatives. We're planning workshops, community talks, and planting events in every major city. The more people are aware, the stronger the campaign grows. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she thought of the impact they could make. This sounds like such a powerful event, Seb. I can see why you're so passionate. Sebastian smiled, a touch of pride in his expression. It is. And having you here, working with me, it's meaningful. You've always been able to rally people around a cause, and I know you'll bring that energy here. They shared a look of mutual understanding, the weight of the project drawing them even closer. But just as they were about to dive back into discussing ideas, Sicil's stomach growled loudly, breaking the intense atmosphere with a surprising burst of laughter between Sicil and Sebastian. Hungry? He asked with a grin. Sicil nodded eagerly. Famished, actually, she admitted, her stomach rumbling in agreement. But just as Sebastian was about to suggest grabbing a bite to eat, Sicil's phone rang, interrupting their conversation. It was Ethan, and he was downstairs, offering to take her out for lunch as he had brought packed meals from his restaurant. Caught off guard, Sicil hesitated, torn between her hunger and her loyalty to Ethan. She glanced at Sebastian, uncertainty flickering in her eyes, silently seeking his opinion on the matter. With a reassuring smile, Sebastian nodded understandingly. "Go ahead, Sicil," he said gently. "I have a few things to take care of as well. Besides, I will have the cafeteria send lunch up to my office." Sicil felt relieved, grateful for Sebastian's understanding. "Thank you, Sebastian," she said sincerely, touched by his support. "Seb, always," he corrected nonchalantly. Sicil smiled in acknowledgement and hurried off to meet Ethan. Sebastian watched her go, as a mixture of emotions swirled within him. He knew he had made the right decision in giving her space, even though it tugged at his heartstrings to see her walk away. Deep down, he hoped that Sicil would come to realize where her heart truly belonged. But he also knew that it was a journey she had to navigate on her own. Sicil's eyes sparkled with delight as Ethan approached, her smile widening at the sight of him. "Hey, Ethan," she greeted, her voice filled with warmth. "Hey, Sicil," Ethan replied, his smile matching hers as he settled down beside her on the bench. "How's your first day at work?" Sicil shrugged playfully. "Not bad, considering I'm stuck working with Sebastian," she teased, nudging Ethan lightly with her elbow. Ethan chuckled. though a hint of concern flickered in his eyes. "Sebastian, huh? Well, as long as he is not causing you any trouble." Sicil shook her head, a reassuring smile on her lips. "No trouble at all. We are getting along quite well," she assured him, reaching for his hand. Relief washed over Ethan's features as he squeezed her hand gently. "That's good to hear. So tell me about this internship of yours. What exactly are you working on?" And so Sicil launched into an animated explanation of her internship, detailing the project she was involved in and her aspirations for the future. Ethan listened attentively, his admiration for Sicil growing with each word she spoke. As they finished their lunch, Ethan leaned in to kiss Sicil softly on the cheek, his affectionate gesture a silent reassurance of his love and support. "I'm proud of you, Sicil. It's a very noble cause you are working for," he whispered, his gaze lingering on her face. Sicil's heart swelled with gratitude as she returned his gaze, her eyes reflecting the depth of her feelings for him. "Thank you, Ethan. I love you," she murmured, her voice filled with love. "I love you too, Sicil," replied Ethan with equal fervor, trailing his fingers over her jawline. With an affectionate gaze before heading off, he bid her farewell, promising to see her again soon. Sicil watched him go, feeling grateful for his support and the love they had together. As Sebastian observed Ethan's affectionate gesture from his office window, a pang of unease tugged at his heart. He could not deny the surge of jealousy that flickered within him, but he quickly masked his emotions as Sicil entered the room. "Hey, Sicil," Sebastian greeted her, offering her a warm smile despite the turmoil brewing within him. "Did you have a good lunch?" Sicil returned his smile. "Yeah, it was nice. Thank you for letting me go," she replied, appreciation in her tone. Sebastian nodded, masking his inner turmoil behind a calm facade. "Of course, you needed a break," he said casually, though his mind was still preoccupied with the image of Ethan kissing Sicil. Sicil's gaze flickered to the window briefly before returning to Sebastian. "Is everything okay?" she asked, a hint of concern lacing her words. Sebastian forced a smile, dismissing her concern with a wave of his hand. "Yeah, everything is fine. Just catching up on some work," he assured her, though his gaze remained on her face, searching for any signs of discomfort. Sicil nodded with a thoughtful expression on her face. "Shall we start where we left off before lunch?" she offered, her tone gentle. Sebastian's expression softened at her words, grateful for the return to familiar space. "Absolutely," he replied, a hint of relief in his voice. With that, they both immersed themselves in their work once more, the rhythm of their collaboration easing the slow tension in the air. Despite the complexities of their personal dynamics, their professional partnership remained steadfast.